Oh yeah, and it definitely goes over and beyond that because we see the hard work and dedication that he pours into his craft and to the game. Always one of the first ones in the building. Always getting his body worked on, getting his body treatment. You can tell it's a guy that loves the game and want to make sure that he dedicates his time the proper way to make sure that he gets what he wants out of this league, and that's not only being a special teams player, that's eventually been a defensive player. And I think eventually now he has a shot. Last week getting 2 sacks against the Jets was huge for him in the Big Apple. So hopefully he can continue to grow on that momentum that he gained in New York, and hopefully he can continue to help this defense out.
Hey Pat, I know you and Prince were the same draft class. Did you know him back then, and what kind of relationship do you have, and what do you think he can bring to this team?
Oh yeah, I know Prince. Since we both declared to come out into the draft, so we have a long time relationship. Both being first round draft picks. Prince going to New York to start off his career, me being drafted and staying here. But adding another veteran to this defense that played in a lot of big-time ball games, that played in big moments, that understands the game. You can never have enough DBs. So it's just another one that that the front office felt like we needed to add. He was out there, and hopefully, he can come in here and help contribute to the secondary as well.
Pat, when you look at their skill position players, including Zeke, talk about their wideouts and how different they are from each other.
They have a very unique group. You have Amari, that's been doing nothing but great things since he got into the league, and I believe he was really the guy to get that offense open up. Got Gallup, taking the top off the defenses on the outside, and you got the rookie who's coming in and has been a sensation so far. So we're going to have our hands full. They're not the number one passing offense for no reason. Those guys have a ton of weapons, and they do a great job by distributing the ball out to their playmakers. So we're going to have our hands full. I believe we have a great game plan in store, but it's up to us to go out there and execute the game plan to the full of our potential.
Next up, Catherine, Kevin, Darren.
Hey, Patrick, how much can that change, though, with them obviously having Andy Dalton in at quarterback this weekend? I know you had tweeted about Dak, so I was just wondering, how long have you known him, and what's that relationship like?
Yeah, I've known Dak since he got into the league as well. We share the same marketing advisor. So we do a lot of things together during the off season. We share kind of like the same passion for cars. I had the opportunity to build a car for him a couple years ago. But Dak is a hard worker. Dak is a guy that understands his role in his league, and he don't take that lightly at all. So it was definitely heartbroken to see him go down, especially with this being such a big year in line for him. So I wish Dak nothing but a quick recovery. And if I know Dak the way I know him, I know he's going to come back stronger and better than ever.
Hey, Pat, just going off that, with Dalton going in, do you kind of just prepare like it's the same offense? Obviously, Dak maybe has more athleticism, but as far as their passing game, is it pretty much as expected?
Oh, yeah, we believe that these guys still going to run their offense. The only difference is that Andy is not as mobile as Dak is. Andy can, he's elusive, can get away from pressure, but, Dak is a little bit more mobile than Andy is. So we are expecting the normal passing offense, but we also have to expect, them to not really put the load on Andy. So we have to expect those guys to come out, try to control the ball game by running the football, get Ezekiel in the ball game early, control the line of scrimmage because they got a lot of guys on the offensive line banged up as well. So for the most part, we're definitely expecting those guys to do what they do, but probably a little bit more run. But we have to wait and see Monday night to see what those guys give us.
Along those lines, Patrick, then if you kind of see the possibility of that and leaning on Ezekiel, do you think there's less chance of a shootout? I know a lot of people, maybe even the ESPN people, were hoping for a shootout on Monday night. maybe that's not the first thing a defensive player is thinking about, but I mean, kind of how do you look at it that way?
We're looking to go out there and play our best ball this season. This is our first time on national television. It's been a lot of hype, around us up until this point. We're 3-2, 1-0 in the second half of in the second quarter of the season. So we just have a lot of football left. But this is it's our first time on the national stage. So it's going to be a great outing for us to go out there and to make sure that we perform at our best to put the world on notice that we are a team that is here for real. That we have a great team, a great coaching staff, and we finally start to put it together. And I believe this can start helping us turn that corner as a team.
We'll wrap it up in the last four. David, Catherine, Howard, Omo.
Hey, Patrick, I was just curious. You had talked a few minutes about Dennis Gardeck earlier, but you played at one of the great college atmospheres, LSU, obviously, and he played at West Virginia State and Sioux Falls. Does he have any good stories about Division II games like that, or can you imagine kind of coming up through that system instead of going the SEC route?
David, sadly to say, I couldn't imagine going through that route. I always thought I was going to be playing at a big university, but everyone has different obstacles to get where they really want to be, and that was just one of those obstacles that Dennis had to go to, and it didn't slow him down. It didn't deter him from his route, So, as many guys that have come up even from HBCUs, not even Division II colleges, so. It doesn't matter where you come from. The game is the game, and if you have love and passion for the game, you play with energy and with a tenacity, everything should take care of itself. So, and Dennis plays with those intangibles. So, Dennis is just a ball player. Dennis could have. I believe if Dennis didn't go to college and was on the couch, I believe he still can make it in this league, just because his mindset, his mind frame, his mentality. You can tell that he's a grinder, he's a dog, So it's hard to deny a guy that had that type of character.
Patrick, what type of car did you get for Dak? And then separately, how did you enjoy the Lakers run?
Oh, I did. Well, I didn't get the car for Dak. It's the car that he wanted, and it was I think it was a '69 El Camino. It was like a Dallas purple with some 20-inch white walls on the tires. We Bluetoothed it out, redid his interior, motor. It was a full restoration job that we did for him. I believe we did that for him in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a fun build. That was our first time doing the El Camino. He loved it and still drive it to this day. And about my Laker run, it was amazing to watch. I watch every series. I knew the finals would be a little tougher than everybody expected it to be, but the right team pulled it out. So I'm happy for the LeBron James and AD and the rest of the gang and Jeannie Buss and the list goes on. To get the Lakers, the Lake Show, back on top where we belong, baby.
Yeah, Pat, I was wondering if you have any thoughts on the trend around the league with the number of points that are being scored this season by the offenses, especially even road teams. Do you think that that's had an impact because no crowd noise for the offenses that have to deal with when they go on the road?
Nah, Howie, I really can't put a finger on, why our offenses are scoring more points than they have back in the past. All I can say as defense is we got to play better. We have to find ways to be in better leverage, to be able to make plays on the football. That's all I can say. But I know as an Arizona Cardinals defense, I believe we're doing pretty well as a scoring defense. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but, as far as in the important areas on the field, like red zone, third down situations, I believe we're top 5 in both of those categories. But I couldn't tell you what our point average was, but I can only imagine we should be at least in the top 15 in that as well. So I can't speak on everybody else, but I know that the Arizona Cardinals secondary and defense is doing a great job of protecting the paint.
not only did Dennis get the 2 sacks, he also had some interesting dance moves. Yeah, I was wondering, did those get any extra rewinding in the film session? And what did you think about Dennis's dance party? If you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
The first one, the one he did like this, I actually like that one. That one's actually pretty cool. I would have gave that one 7, but the other one with the jet thing, I really wasn't digging that one. I give it a 3.